大家好，我们今天非常有幸的，可以有一个采访的机会跟
跟澳大利亚国立大学等离子实验室的博士 Cormac Corr、
今天我们来讨论一下未来，国立大学和
南华大学。
所进行的一些科学上的一些研究的合作。Thanks for having time with us.
Pleasure.
Yes, we heard like ANU is going to work with the South China University.
Mhm.
Can you talk about a little bit about the project?
Yeah, sure thing. So it was just under a year ago, we were looking at transitioning away from a Stellarator research program that we had to a broader linear plasma device. And our initial idea was to use the infrastructure of that large Stellarator for our new device, which would mean essentially taking it apart. Then at a conference, some of our Chinese colleagues heard about what we were going to do, and they were quite taken back. And they said, no, you cannot remove those coils. We would be very interested in acquiring this device from you. And that kind of began our collaboration with China. So ever since then, we've been in close communication to see how we can make this happen. And we are in the process of establishing some agreements, such as an MOU, as well as a term sheet, in order to transfer this large piece of infrastructure, which is about 4 meters in diameter and 5 meters high, to China, to the University of South China. Now, what that will mean for China is that will be its first Stellarator. China does have a number of tokamaks, but they do not have any Stellarators at the moment. When it comes to producing fusion energy, there are two concepts out there which are deemed to be the way forward to produce fusion energy. One is a tokamak and one is a Stellarator. What we have is a Stellarator device. I should say it doesn't produce fusion reactions, but it is a device for studying basic plasma physics, magnetic confinement, and developing diagnostics. So we are going to, if you like, provide China with their first Stellarator. And in return, the University of South China are going to provide us with some infrastructure for our program. So now what we have is a very nice research collaboration where we have an exchange of not only scientific personnel, but also technical personnel. Indeed, two of our technical staff went to visit the University of South China to see if they have a building which could house this experimental device. And that was about 3 weeks ago. In fact, it was deemed that the building was too small, so the university are going to build a new building for the device. And we are in close communication with the university in developing that bit of infrastructure to house the device.
How long has this infrastructure actually?
How long has it been here?
Yeah.
So the H1 Stellarator has had quite a long life here in Australia. It was first conceived, I think, back in 1983, when the design and development phase started. The first plasma device was in 1993, so it's been operating for nearly 25 years. And the device has had quite a number of postgraduate and undergraduate students who are now at other research centres around the world. And for us, it's still a fully operational device. It's just that our own program in investigating materials for fusion devices and also developing diagnostics has been ramping up. So that's really been taking off. So hence our new focus on this linear plasma device. Now, of course, through our collaboration with University of South China, our research in Stellarator physics will still continue. We will still visit and we will still perform research over in China. So it's a very nice collaboration where we will have an exchange of personnel. We will continue our research, but in China. And it's nice to see such a device which has been a flagship facility for Australia, Australian plasma science, find a new home. So as I said, this device was developed and built in-house here at the Research School of Physics and Engineering at the Australian National University. So it's nice to see it have a new home and have a new life.
What do you think are the challenges actually finalize this deal, actually make, and also make it work in China?
So we've had significant progress in the last number of months. Our biggest challenge is perhaps getting it out of our building. As I mentioned, it's 4 meters in diameter, 5 meters high. So we need to take the roof off our building, get a big crane in, lift it out onto the back of a lorry, and drive it from Canberra to Sydney, put it on a boat to Shanghai, down a river to Henyang in the Hunan province, and then into their building. This is all very possible. I think we can definitely achieve this. Once it gets there, our technical staff and our scientists will visit the university to ensure that the device is correctly installed and to achieve the first plasma. So we have over 25 years of know-how, both in the science and both the technical side of things. So we will spend some time there in order to make sure that it is set up correctly and it's fully operational.
I saw many Chinese professors or PhD students already in the building. And in the future, after we sign this agreement, what is your vision? What could happen in the future, I think?
So what I think will happen in the future is the strong collaboration will continue. Already, we haven't signed any agreement as yet, but yet there are 6 scientists from China visiting us this week that are being trained on operating the H1 Stellarator. So that's a big step already. 2 of our technical staff visited the university in China. Going forward, I foresee both scientific and technical exchanges between our staff, and also exchange between postgraduate and undergraduate students. So I think it would connect our 2 universities, and also, if you like, 2 countries even more, because it is quite a large piece of infrastructure which will be provided. So I foresee a number of both scientific and technical exchanges into the future.
Besides student exchange could happen in the future, is there any other direct benefit in Australia?
So the direct benefits, if you like, for Australia is international collaboration on some of the grand challenges that we face in the world, and one of them, of course, is clean energy. So developing fusion energy as a viable clean energy source for the future is an international project. So as an example, recently Australia signed an agreement with the ITER organization. So now we are, if you like, a partner of that ITER organization, so we can work with them. And of course, China are also part of this ITER project. So now we can work more closely with China. We can share ideas and we can advance a number of technologies. And also there's a number of commercialization opportunities through working in plasma physics.
You mentioned about the clean energy, and recently our electricity price are actually going up a lot. And even the Prime Minister in ACCC tried to review the electricity. But however, about clean energy, people are actually arguing, would this be cheaper? So do you think in the future, if this actually works, would it be cheaper, or does clean energy was more expensive?
That's a good question. I think it's a viable source. It would be cheaper. The essential process behind fusion energy would be fusing together deuterium and tritium, both of which are available. ITER will demonstrate 500 megawatts of power fusion power from 50 megawatts input power, but it's not going to capture that heat and produce electricity. That would be the demonstration power plant afterwards, so that would be a demo. But for providing a baseload power supply, fusion is one of the methods which must be investigated and to determine whether it's going to be viable or not. So we have to keep the door open to it, and we can't shut it.
And then you think with this collaboration with China, if actually works, Australia would benefit directly for the energy market?
Oh, for sure. So China have, of course, quite a large energy crisis as well, which they're trying to solve. And they are investing a lot of resources and a lot of money into this research. They're investing a lot of money and research into fusion energy research. As I mentioned, they have 4 tokamaks in China at the moment, but they don't have a Stellarator. And so this is, in acquiring the H1 Stellarator, it's an opportunity for them to develop a scientific program to gain an understanding of how Stellarators operate, and perhaps develop another Stellarator into the future. As I said, the 2 camps, there's a tokamak and a Stellarator camp, and we can benefit from the resources that China have, and also the know-how, as China will benefit from our know-how as well in this research field.
And when the infrastructure actually assume is successfully transferred to China, what would be your next agenda? Do you move on to the next one, or
no? So the goal will be to establish it's a research collaboration, and this is the first part of it in transferring the equipment to China. After that, I would foresee us applying for joint funding opportunities to firmly establish that collaboration into the future. There are a number of opportunities out there for linking Australian institutes with Chinese institutes, of course. So I would see this collaboration continuing for quite a number of years. So it won't be the end of it once the device lands in China. Indeed, it will just be, if you like, in some sense, the beginning of it. The major part is to transfer the device to China, but then after that there's a research and technical collaboration which will continue long into the future. Again, if you look at something like ITER is the first plasma will be at the end of 2025. After that would be demos. So there's still quite a bit of research to do in the space of fusion energy and plasma physics. So those links will keep on going.
Thanks, Professor. 我相信大家现在对于这个华南大学和澳大利亚国立大学未来想合作的这个仿星系的这个项目，大家有一定的了解了。如果想要知道更多信息的话，请联系我们，我们未来会给你一个答复的。谢谢。